Hello all, it's a new week, which means we have a new theme this week. And this week's theme will be inspired by Zayn Malik. When I think of this theme, I just think of Zayn and his inspirational tweets and quotes and just all that sort of stuff. So this week's theme is a personal theme week kind of thing, and it is an inspirational story or just something that has inspired you in life or just has made you who you are today. I have a few things to say. Number one, you will be noticing that this music in the background, since it is a personal week, I am adding music that I personally like. And I was inspired by Becca in her personal questionnaire to do that. And second of all, as you can tell, same old background only because I recorded this video a few days in advance. So, because I knew I wouldn't have time to actually record a full video and edit it and everything like that while I'm away. So I only have time to post it. And I believe, third of all, we have some Would You Rathers this week, and I will be doing them at the end, so stay tuned. And for those of you who asked Would You Rather, stay tuned for the end to listen to your shout-out. Now, I found this really inspiring newspaper article that I really would like to share with you guys, and I will explain how it affected me in the end. So I'm going to be reading this article as it is on the newspaper. Actually, I have it on my computer, so I'm going to be reading it there. Karina Stenstrom touched the cappuccino-colored mark on her forearm. She calls it a battle scar. From a battle that she has won on 2 separate occasions. Resembling a dime-sized birthmark, it is the residual effect of bleomycin, probably butchered that word, a form of aggressive chemotherapy. The scar serves as a daily reminder of her near-death experience 10 years ago, actually now 13 years ago, when she conquered cancer a second time. The word cancer hadn't entered Karina's daily vocabulary before she was 23, when she was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, a cancer that attacks the lymphatic system. She had just completed school to become a medical office assistant. She and her husband, Earl, were young parents to a 1.5-year-old daughter. Pain in her right kidney and blood in her urine prompted a series of blood work and tests for kidney stones, all which came back normal. But a visit to a radiologist was life-changing. The radiologist detected leukemia. I was in shock, Karina recalled. I was in stage 3B and 4 is the worst. I thought I would never see my daughter grow up, graduate from school, have a family for me, and for me to experience holding my first grandchild in my arms. Prior to the diagnosis, Karina had dropped weight and lost her appetite, but she assumed that came from the rigors and stress of working for 2 doctors' offices while raising a young child with Earl. She was also very itchy at nighttime, a telltale sign of the disease, but she shrugged that symptom off as well. The cancer had found a home in her spleen, around her heart, and very close to her kidneys and in her neck. Karina rarely missed a day of work. She endured 8 months of out-of-patient chemotherapy before going into remission. I can tell you, I was tired of being poked and prodded and tested and was relieved to not have to go through such time-consuming tests. Karina said, I always thought positive thoughts. To me, it was, I'm going to beat this, I'm going to fight it. It was 5 years, 3 months before Karina and Earl were supposed to get married in Maui. While they were driving to Karina's hometown, she slid her fingertip along the side of her neck and felt a lump. She knew exactly what it was. I thought, okay, I can do this again, but I realized the second time around was going to be tough, she recalled. She didn't tell Earl straight away, but visited her doctor confirming the worst. I cried in front of my GP, who was phenomenal throughout the whole thing, Karina recalled. He was my savior, I tell ya. Then she told Earl, who reacted the same way. Sorry. He did the first time. His soulmate had told him that she had a life-threatening disease. He said, you're going to beat this, and we're going to do it. She needed her husband and daughter's support the second time around. The cancer had come back with vengeance. Her heart sank when she was told that she needed a bone marrow transplant. Karina was awake the whole time that an oncologist stuck a tube in her neck and slowly filtered stem cells out of her blood. I went home that night and was told that it looks like they got a lot of stem cells out. They phoned me at about 8 p.m. that evening. They phoned me and said they barely got any, Karina recalled. Then I put my hands up and thought, there's nothing they can do for me. I felt sorry for myself at that point. She returned to the hospital to have a liter of bone marrow removed from her body. Later on, she was buoyed by the news she was able to donate her own bone marrow. That rocked because I knew my body wouldn't reject it, she said. Doctors froze the bone marrow to be re-injected into Karina after her chemotherapy. Starting on December 1st, 2001, Karina spent a month in quarantine in the hospital leukemia ward. It was the hardest 30 days of her life, physically and emotionally. The air in the room was constantly filtered against bacteria and germs. They were killing me with chemotherapy. It was so strong, Karina said. I had to get up and go to the bathroom every 15 minutes. They had to hyperfluid me as they didn't want the chemo sitting in my system too long, especially my bladder, as it could burn through it. Karina was told by the nurses that the room's previous occupant had passed away after her transplant. That's when it hit me, Karina said. I could seriously die from this procedure that is supposed to help me. During Karina's stay, Earl shaved her head because even the touch of the pillow hurt her hair. During her month in isolation, she missed several special family moments. The hardest part was when my daughter asked me, how come you can't come to the Christmas party? Karina related. After she left, I was exhausted. Feeling spent after a leisurely visit with her daughter seemed surreal for the ultra-athletic Karina, who played college basketball and field hockey at the BC Summer Games. Days passed. Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and New Year's Eve were all spent in the hospital. Finally wearing a mask to protect her from the swarm of invisible deadly germs outside the secure walls of the hospital, Karina walked out of the hospital with Earl by her side. It was New Year's Day 2002. A new start and a new lease on her life for Karina and her family. It felt so weird, Karina said. I was so apprehensive, I was scared to leave the room because of the germs. 6 months after her bone marrow transplant, Karina found that huge doses of chemotherapy were doing strange things to her body, such as accelerating her into menopause. It also had erased all her baby immunizations. It was like starting over health-wise. I felt like a newborn baby with the immune system of an 80-year-old, Karina said. The hormonal havoc didn't stop Karina from slowly regaining her confidence and her health. It took 5 months to get her strength back, but a month after walking out of the hospital, Karina learned she was cancer-free. Today, nearly 10 years after her second cancer scare, actually now 13, Karina said she's fantastic. She helps coach her daughter's soccer team. I'm a strong believer in positive thinking, she said. The mind is a powerful thing. I was going to beat cancer. I was going to rule it. I was going to take control. As you can see, I got a little choked up in some of that because Karina's daughter is me, Brianna. Growing up with a mom who had cancer, who was in the hospital for, a few months. I mean, she wasn't in the hospital for a long time, but, the month that she was in the hospital really affected me because I would always go over to my grandma's on Christmas Day, and we would open up presents, and she wasn't there. And I would leave school early to go visit her in the hospital, and one day I was packing up early, and this girl followed me into the cubby room. And she looked at me and she said, haha, your mom's in the hospital dying. And right then and there, I broke down and I cried in the cubby room. My teacher came and comforted me. I can't really remember what happened after that, but I remember leaving. Just quite upset. I remember going to the hospital and playing snakes and ladders with my mom. I remember I wasn't able to use her bathroom because it was specifically for her, and there was toxic chemicals in there and just stuff like that. I remember she was not on morphine. Morphine is a painkiller kind of thing they give you. She was on Dilaudid, which is the strongest form of painkillers. Just, and now looking back on it, it's still affecting her today, because when she gets sick, like a normal cold for her, or like a normal cold for us, is like a 2-week, 3-week kind of hardcore cold / flu for her. She's actually going through menopause too right now, and she's only 40. My mom just turned 40 last November, and she's already through menopause. So I think of it now today, I've been through a few surgeries myself with my knee and my hip, and I always thought, woe is me, this is I feel sorry for myself, but when you think about it, you can't feel sorry for yourself in that moment, because you're not battling life and death with just a knee surgery. You're just going in for 20 minutes to 2 hours for knee surgery and you'll be back home later. No, my mom was battling death. So I'm grateful for that she's still alive today, because I can go to my mom about anything, and you know what, she's always there for me. I love my mom to death. And just all that has made us stronger. It just makes you look at life differently, and grateful that you're still here, because life's a gift. It's not a given right. And yes, I have stolen that from a Nickelback song. So it's just, yeah, I just don't know what else more to say on it. That was just really like a summarized version. I could really go on for hours about this, but that's what has made me stronger today. I hope you guys really kind of enjoy that, I guess, and take it to heart a little bit, knowing that, because I really would like to teach you guys, saying that, you know, life can be taken away at any moment, so be grateful for what you have, because there's people in it, like, look at the Coney 2012 thing that's going on right now, and the children armies. Like, you could have it so much worse. You could be living in poverty right now with no food, but right now you're sitting in front of me, you know, you're watching this video. So please be grateful for what you have. Don't be selfish, don't be rude, just think before you speak, think before you act, just think. Please. So I hope I've kind of, you know, taught you guys things. This video was probably really long, so I'm really sorry. So I believe now it is time for the Would You Rathers and shoutouts. So stay tuned if you have sent us a Would You Rather in. Listen for your name, or listen for your Tumblr URL. So we got a Would You Rather from, I believe it is One Direction is freaking amazing. And she's asking, would you rather give up Tumblr or YouTube? Oh my goodness, it's actually really hard, because I like Tumblr because Tumblr just has all like those awesome edited pictures of the boys and stuff like that, and just, but then again, you know, it does cut into my life a lot. It does distract me a lot from homework. And then YouTube, I like YouTube is because you can hear all like the boys' latest music from fans who are actually from the UK, who actually get the stuff first, and you get really cool interviews and stuff. But I would have to probably say Tumblr, because like I said, it distracts me from doing my like actual schoolwork and stuff like that. So I'd give up Tumblr. We've got a bit of a naughty URL here, so excuse my language. When I say Niall fuck me hard ass, would you rather Niall want to kiss you or Harry? I have a special place in my heart for Harry, so I would like Harry to kiss me. What would you do if the boys asked for your Tumblr? Oh my goodness. This would be really awkward. I would give them my main blog Tumblr instead of my like One Direction Tumblr, because yeah, I just give them my Inferno Tumblr, because that's my main blog. So they didn't specify which Tumblr, so they're getting Inferno. Okay, also, I know this video was really long, and if we have forgotten your Would You Rather, just send it in our the 1D Squad Ask box, and we will get to it next week. We're terribly sorry if we forgot your Would You Rather, so yeah, so I guess we will be seeing you next week, and I hope you all have a spectacular spring break for those who are on spring break. So once again, we have our new Twitter, and I'll put the links below of all our Twitters and Tumblrs and etc, etc. So Mariah and Aurora will be posting tomorrow, and you know what, 1D Squad ladies, you need to start posting. We're missing some days here now. Come on now. Much love. Bye.